Okay. Uh, I haven't got a long stream, but I fancied streaming something. I got like maybe like I don't know, 40 minutes to kill or something. Probably won't even take that long to go through this, but just thought I'd rank FF games. I was gonna play something, but I thought I don't want to get too into something and then have to leave. So doing a little tier list seems like a decent compromise. Yeah, so I'm gonna rank the FF games. I'll be honest, there's one game on this list, I won't reveal it yet, that I would rank lower than D. But I didn't want to get too, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, antagonistic. I didn't want anyone to click in and be like, what the fuck? But I mean, when I get to it, I'll make sure that I let you know that I don't like it. But yeah, I've also added I haven't played enough. There's a few of these that, because I just found this list randomly and it's got a few extras. I was going to just do 1 to 15, but it's got a few extras. So I'll start off with those now, to be honest. I'm not an MMO guy. I've tried MMOs before. I can't get into them. So FF11, going down there, haven't played enough. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, I don't like it, D, because I don't like MMOs. So I can't fairly rank it and be like, oh, it's a bad game, just because it's not the kind of game I'm into. Not really fair. FF14 can also go there. I've not played enough of FF12 Revenant Wings. Well, I feel the need to put these in order, but I will. I played a little of Lightning Returns, but not enough, so I can go there too. And 15, I think I've played about 4 or 5 hours of it on release day, and then just for some reason I've barely touched it since. I bought it again on PC a few years back, probably not that long ago, maybe like a year ago, and I was like, I'm going to play it now, and I'm going to play it on PC because it's got a fancy PC now, and I still just didn't really get into it. I played for like an hour and just didn't touch it again. I will eventually finish it. 15 is going to go and haven't played enough. I feel like if I did finish 15, it'd probably be like a strong C, low B, but it wouldn't be fair to rank it right now. How is this song? Okay, FF1. But yeah, the rest of these games I've either played a decent amount of, or I have finished. So I feel it feels fair to rank them. So I guess we'll just do them in order. That makes sense. I could do them from my lowest rank to my... Oh, maybe I'll do them from my lowest rank to my highest rank. That'd be interesting. Okay, yeah, let's do it from my lowest rank to my highest rank. That's more fun. So we'll get to find out immediately what that game I was saying I would rank lower than D is immediately. And it's, it's one of those ones that people either love or they hate. And that's got to be FF8. I don't like Final Fantasy 8. I think that it has weird systems. I'm not going to say confusing systems as a kid, perhaps, but I understand how it works now. Because a lot of people say, oh, if you don't like FF8, you just kind of don't understand, the junctioning system. No, I understand it. I just don't like it. I don't really like the characters. I have a level of nostalgia for the locations and some of the monsters and stuff. Wouldn't say I like them. Nostalgia doesn't. Yeah, because I played as a kid. I've been playing fantasy since I was like 7 or 8. Like, yeah, and I'm like 30 now. But FF8 was one of my first ones. I started with 7, and then FF8 was the next one I played. I still just don't care for it. I've never really been a fan. I don't like the leveling as you level as well. Monsters leveling with you. I'm someone who... Some people hate the grind in RPGs. I'm someone who loves the grind. FF8, it has you grinding for like junctions and stuff, and like with the drawing system. But it doesn't really have you grind levels. That's the kind of shit I like. I love that shit. 8's gonna go in D. Oh hey, I'm Ali. Yeah, just I haven't got much time today. Just gonna rank some random FF games. So I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. Not that much shit. Turn the music down just a little bit. Yeah, just rank some FF games. Yeah, I need to play 15. I was just saying that. I've played a good 5 or 6 hours, but I just don't feel like that's enough for me to fairly rank it. So I'm just gonna throw it in. I haven't played enough. Like, I don't think I could fairly say 15 is good or bad. As I said, if I was gonna rank it, it might be like C or B, but I'll hold off until I've actually given it a fair playthrough. But yeah, my first game over. I'm doing these in order of lowest to highest. So FF8 is my least favorite Final Fantasy game. I did just give a bunch of reasons, but I'm not going to go through it again. But yeah, FF8 isn't great. I don't really care for FF8. Next, we're going to go with Final Fantasy IV, the After Years, that can go above 8. It's such a shame, because I love Final Fantasy IV. You'll be seeing that high on this list. But the After Years is just like how not to do a sequel. It's... And I don't like any of the new characters. The story's boring. It's done in these weird chapters where you just don't play as any of the characters together until like late into the game. It has the weird, like, it's interesting, but it has like a system where depending on how the moon is, like if it's a crescent moon or if it's a full moon, like your certain abilities and attacks be stronger or weaker. Like, that's interesting, but it's also just gimmicky and annoying. Like, so I'm gonna give, yeah, it goes in D. It's not a great game in my opinion. Or it could just be that I was super let down because I love FF4. But I still feel fair putting it in D. I know what's next on my ranking, but I don't quite know if it's D or C. I'm going to go with low C. FF2. I don't think it'd be any surprise that FF2 is fairly, not low ranked, but fairly low ranked. Most people seem to think, some people might really love it, but some people seem to think that it's just a little too weird and broken, and it certainly is. Like, the fact that you can just basically sit in a battle and like let yourself get beat on and cure yourself over and over to level your stats up is just kind of broken as shit. Like, it can be fun in that way, but I'm just surprised that I know that like when people see like a remake, like when they had a GBA remake or a PSP remake or the Pixel remaster, I know that people want to see like that original game get remastered. They don't want too much changed. Like, we all want that from a remake. We don't want people to go crazy with the remake and change everything. 7 remake. But FF2, I wouldn't mind if they just changed a bunch because it's so broken. But for some reason, every single remaster they do of that game, they're like, just leave it how it is. And I'm sure they changed little bits in the the way it works, but it's still essentially broken no matter what version you play. So 2 is interesting and has a much better story than 1, but it's got to go in C, I think. The next one I don't know whether to put in C or B. I've got a lot of games here, so we're gonna put it in C. That's FF1. FF1 is a very, very good game. Even though it's C, it's a very, very good game. If someone said, "Shall I start with FF1? I want to play Fantasy," I'd go, "Yeah, why not?" You know, it's not the best one to start with, but it's the template. You know, that and Dragon Quest are the templates for JRPGs. You can't go wrong. It's just, you know, because it was so early on, it's pretty generic. That doesn't necessarily mean bad, but yeah, I had quite a few FF games back in the day. I started with like 7, 8, and then I got like 4, 5, 9. Yeah, I played quite a few of them back in the day. Although 7 I had a pirate copy of because my uncle gave me like a chipped PS1 and he just put it on a random disc for me. That's how I originally played 7. I do own a legit copy now though. Many legit copies because I own it across like Steam, PlayStation 4, stuff like that. But yeah, FF1, it's generic. It's nothing mind-blowing in 2023. It'd be nothing mind-blowing 20 years ago. But it set the standard and it's still a good game. I don't have a lot to say about 1 because it is so like kind of generic, but I'll put it in top of C. I think the next game will be where we go to B. Yeah, I'm going to put FF3 not top of B, but bottom of B, sorry. FF3 is very good. It has a fairly bare bones job system. Well, not bare bones. I mean, I guess it's not that different to FF5's. A little different, I guess. But FF3 is still really, really good. It's it definitely had more story, like more emphasis on story than 1. Maybe not than 2. 2 actually did try to do a bit of story. But yeah, it's just a fun adventure. It feels like Final Fantasy, which is weird to say in FF like that long ago because, you know, you can't really say they decided what was Final Fantasy and what wasn't by only the 3rd game, but FF2 felt a little too different, whereas FF3 gave you that FF1 feeling. It was an adventure. Like, so I'll put 3 lowest of B, I think. I'm gonna put 12. That's my next one. Next in B. even though when I didn't finish 12 back in the day, I didn't like 12 for the longest time because that was the first one to me that was too different. Um, when I finally beat it, I played it on PS4. Like there's, I can't remember what the hell it's called, like Zodiac something. I don't fuck. The Zodiac Age, I think that's what it's called. I haven't got my glasses on, but I think behind me I can see it. The Zodiac Age. Yeah, it's a good, and it is a good game. But I don't know if I'd enjoy the original so much because when I played it, you can speed that game up to a stupid speed with the remaster. It's something like 8 times its speed, or maybe 16. It might not be 16. That might be silly. I think I'm thinking of something else. But you can speed it up so fast that you can just grind the fuck out of enemies. And because I love the grinded RPG, I loved it. Original FF12, I don't know if I have the patience. It'd be too slow for me now. It's like trying to play FF7 on its original speed now. I can't do it. I have to play on 3 times speed. But 12 is very good, despite being the first one that I felt was too different when it came out. It's been a while since I played 12, so I don't have a lot to say on that, really. It's got very good music, but it's the kind of soundtrack that I wouldn't listen to too much outside of the game, because the songs are fairly samey. Like, I think it's Hitoshi Sakamoto. He loves using strings and brass, and that is like every song. You're in a desert, strings. You're in a cave, strings. You know, you're in a town, strings. Like, I feel like Nobuo Uematsu, you know, would be like, oh, you're in a town? Well, this town is, you know, strings and a piano, and then this town is a funky-ass bass, like, as the main instrument. But FF12, like, a lot of the songs are similar. I don't know why I'm taking so long on the soundtrack when I'm meant to be ranking the games, but I just have a lot to say about 12, even though I'm putting it, like, in B. It is a good game, though. Next, I will put 5. 5... it's my least favorite of the SNES era, but I mean, it refines the job system from 3. Like, it's just better in 5 because now you can choose a job but also have a secondary ability. So if you have a black mage, grind them out and then go, I want to turn them into a white mage now, you can still use some of your black mage abilities as a white mage, which is a cool system. It's got fun characters, got a good story. You know, it still has some of that NES/SNES jankiness where it's kind of like the story gets goofy at times and they don't take themselves too seriously. It's, what else has 5 got? I feel like 5 has something else that I really, really like. I don't know. It's just a solid game. It's you know, I'm no games reviewer. I can't articulate what I mean that well. I just know that I like 5. Yeah. What would I rank now? I think next is where we go into A rank, which I'm gonna put 6 at the bottom of A rank. Which, considering some of the games I have left, big FF fans might be like, "Wait, what? You're putting 6 lower than some of these other games?" Yeah, it's a very good game. I guess I've never, obviously I love it, it's an A, but I've never quite found that kind of love for it like other people seem to, where a lot of people, it's like 6 or 7. You pick 6 or 7. Like, those are like the favorites of the series. I mean, not everyone, but it seems like whenever someone says I like 7, someone has to be like, oh, well, I like 6. Like, and that's fine. 6 to me, I don't care too much for the party overall. Even though 6 has like a great story compared to the 5 games came before it, the characters don't interest me that much, apart from maybe a handful of them. Oh, like Kefka's great. The story's pretty good. The battle system's very good. I like the leveling system for abilities because I love the grind, as I said, in JRPG. So I love that you get like summons and you equip them, and then it's like grind this out for like, you know, an hour to learn abilities from this like summon. I like that. I definitely lost when I haven't finished it in a long time, but I remember I lost interest a bit after the World of Ruin happens. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's really interesting to get to that bit, but even in my first playthrough, I was kind of just like, I don't like when JRPGs do that, where like you get to a certain point and they're like, right, let's split your party off and you have to run around collecting them all again, or, you know, let's take away this party member from you for the next 2 hours. And you're like, no, don't do that. Like, there's a reason I was using them. Like, yeah, I don't mind it in that game, but it's only getting bottom of A. I couldn't put it any higher, I don't think. Above 6, God, some people this would definitely annoy. Above 6, I'm putting 10-2. I wasn't even going to do spin-offs, but this list just had some spin-offs in it, so we're throwing them in. 10-2 is goofy as fuck, and 10-2, I'm not going to say ruins, because I hate when people say that shit when they go, oh, this game ruined the series, or this game ruined the previous game. It's like, no, it didn't. That original game's still there. Just go play the fucking game. But no Dirge of Cerberus, get the fuck out of here. You think I'm ranking that? Hang on. No, I was going to make another category underneath and just call that Dirge of Cerberus. But, no, I'm not ranking Dirge of Cerberus. To be fair, Dirge of Cerberus would go and haven't played enough, because I played an hour, and I was like, nope, not playing this. Maybe it's okay. But, yeah, 10-2, some people, I think a lot of people like that game, but some people would definitely act like, oh, it ruins 10. It doesn't ruin 10. Go play 10 if you want to play 10. Ignore 10-2. That's all you got to do. But it's certainly goofy as fuck. I wouldn't say I particularly like the story. I can admit the story's pretty silly. The characters, when I first played it, I was like, they're so stupid and silly and different to 10. And then when I replayed it on like PS3 or 4, I was like, okay, but this goofiness is just infectious. It's so much fun. Like it's so stupid, but just they lent into that completely, and it's so fun because of it. It also has one of the best battle systems in the series. It's such a good battle system. And that game, if you love the grind, that game will test your abilities, because you unlock jobs and then it's like, you know, you can grind in one job and just continue playing, or you can, you know, spend the next 3 hours just running in a circle grinding out all the jobs with all your characters, which of course I did because I love that shit. And also with like times whatever speed you can do in like the remasters, it's even easier. Only thing I don't like about 10-2, but it's hardly a deal breaker, is to get 100%, because the game has a percent ranking for some reason. Not many JRPGs, well, not Final Fantasy anyway, do that. To get 100%, you have to do a very specific, you have to very specifically do things in a very specific order. And if you fuck one thing up, which I somehow did on my last playthrough, you end up with, you know, like I finished it with 99%, and I'm not even sure what I missed. I followed a guide. I don't know what I did wrong. And also, you can't skip the cutscenes, otherwise you don't get 100%. Like, that's the dumbest shit. I don't like that, but I don't think that's enough for me to say, right, put it lower. So that's fine. Next, I'm going to put 13-2. 13-2 I went into thinking it's probably just, you know, an okay sequel. And it's actually really, really good. It has a really fun battle system again. It has a battle system I didn't think I would like, because I like Pokemon, and there's a couple other, like, I know that seems like a weird tangent, but I like Pokemon, and there's a couple other, like, monster trainer, monster breeding type games I like, but I'm generally not a big fan of RPGs where you have to, like, train monsters, or especially ones where, like, you'll have, like, a team of 2 or 3, and then you'll have a constant, like, changing final party member. I'm not really into that kind of thing, but 13-2 has that, but like with you have like a monster in your team as your third party member that you change. But somehow I just really liked it. There's something about it that it just clicked for me. It's been a while since I played it, so I can't say exactly what it was that I liked that I didn't like in other games, but I'd really like that one. It's got a fantastic soundtrack. Seriously, go. Oh, tell you what, I might just put on just one 13-2 song while we're sat here, because it's so fucking good. Yeah, I might just quickly put this on. Hopefully it's not too loud. Yeah, this song, like 13-2, the soundtrack is amazing. What else do I have to say about 13-2? I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm not a games reviewer. I can't articulate what I mean. I like good things. I hate bad things. Like, that's as much as you can get from this. What's next? Next, we're still in A. I'm going to put 13, which may be controversial to some people that 13 is so highly ranked. But I love 13, and this is coming from somebody who played it in when that came out, like 2009, 2010. This is somebody who played it, and I had all the same complaints that haters of that game have. I thought the characters were generic and boring. I thought the game was one long hallway. I thought the battle system was boring and played itself. And I thought that until like probably the late 2010s, until I decided to just give it another try. And I hugely enjoyed it. Like, the battle system doesn't play itself. Sure, it's probably poorly designed in that you can spend the first like few hours not worrying too much about it. But once you get past that point and you have to start switching out jobs on the fly, it really is like the strategy comes from knowing when to switch jobs and knowing what setup of jobs to have for each battle. Like, there is a lot of depth to 13. It just doesn't explain itself that well. I'll just go through complaints about the game and then I'll like say either a defense for them or I'll just agree with them. That's how I'll do this one. Another thing about 13, the story like is presented not entirely, but a lot of it's presented through data logs that you just have to read in the menu. Yeah, I can't defend that too much. The story is told badly. Like, sometimes you will get to a location and they'll start talking about something and you're like, excuse me? And it's because you're meant to have read 3 pages of the data log. That's dumb as hell. The story's good though. I'm not saying the story isn't. I really like the story, but I can't defend that entirely. But it's not enough to make me hate the game, because once I knew that, I did just start reading the data log and I didn't have any trouble with the game after that, with the story after that. Like, I'm not defending it, I'm just saying once I knew that, it didn't really bother me. The game being a hallway, just being one... Actually, I'll talk about the characters first. The characters being generic or boring or just like cookie cutter templates. I can agree with some. What characters do we have? I like Lightning. I like Saz. I like Snow. Because Snow, a lot of people are just like, oh, he's just the generic, like, oh, I'm a hero and I can save the day. But like later on, like, you see that he's not. Like, he's like, that's kind of how like Barrett from FF7 comes across. Like, you know, it's kind of like, oh, we gotta save the planet and I'm tough. And then like you realize he has a daughter and like he loves her deeply and like, you know, he's so scared something's gonna happen to her and the planet. And it's like, oh right, he actually has some depth. And Snow, I'm not gonna try and say Snow is just like Barrett because that could ruffle some feathers, but he has depth as well. I was just using that as a slight comparison. What other characters do we have? I like Fang. Vanille is okay. I agree with people on Hope. I don't like Hope. I think Hope's boring. I know that he has depth to him too. I just don't like the character. But not every FF game is, you know, is perfect. A lot of them have characters that are worse than others. Yeah, and 13 also, people complain about it being one long hallway. Yeah. Like, I don't mind it once you like kind of realize that and you just go with the flow. Like, it's fine. But yeah, it is a shame that the game is not very open. Like, all of the FF games aren't really that open world. Like, you know, 7, you get to the world map and it's like, oh, you can go anywhere. And it's like, not really. There's that way that I can go, you know, that I have to go. Or I can go here and maybe, you know, just see a fun little scene or something. But then I've just got to carry on where I've got to go. Like, all FF games are like that to a degree. I think the reason people shut on 13's linearity, that's the word, linearity more than like 10's, because 10 is pretty linear, is that 10 presents it better. 10 has towns and 10 has more little like crevices and side paths before, you know, carrying on the straight path. 13 does a super bad job of that by having not really any towns. If you do get to a town, it's still kind of presented just like a straight path. And also the path you follow is pretty much a straight, like between any sort of like towns or hub areas is just a straight path. Like, they might occasionally be like, oh, run this way and grab an item, but it's usually like a 20-second diversion before you go back on the straight path. And I think that I'm not going to sit here and defend it by going, oh yeah, but when you get to Grand Pulse in chapter 11, now fuck that shit. It doesn't matter if the game gets more open there. That's like 20 hours into the game. I love 13. I can't defend its linearity by saying, oh yeah, just wait 20 hours. What the fuck? Like, that's not fair at all. I still love 13 though. I still think it's a great... I know I've kind of shit on it a bit because I've been trying to like defend it. defend all the things people hate on, and I can't defend it all. I still really like it. I still think the battle system is super interesting, despite the fact that you could sort of auto battle for a while. Right, we talked about 13 for quite a while. Right, onto the S rank. Ooh. I'm gonna... See, I know in my head how I want to rank these. I almost feel like... You know what? No. I'm going to rank them exactly how I want to rank them. But just bear in mind that these games are kind of interchangeable in my S rank. Depends on what day of the week it is and how I'm feeling, where I'd rank these. So we're going to put... we're going to put 9 bottom of S. Because 9... I feel like 9 got... Not to be like fucking hipster about it and be like, oh, well, you know, I liked it before it was cool. But like, 9 got like... Not... Maybe, I don't know how much shit it got, but I feel like it was kind of ignored for a long time. And then I think it started to do, like, started to pick up and people started to take more notice, like, of it during, like, maybe the PS3 era when it got put on the PlayStation Network to download. I mean, again, not trying to act like, well, I had 9 as a kid, as if that makes me unique. I mean, it's a fucking, you know, like, multi-million dollar fucking series. Like, I'm sure lots of people had Fantasy 9. I'm not going to act like... I had this little gem, and don't know if you heard of it, but I did have 9 as a kid, and it was, for me, it was never like, kind of like this, like, ignored game that I was like, it's not like 7, I don't care. Like, 9 was great. I fucking loved 9 as a kid. It's always been one of my favorites. Like, the characters are super charming. The world is super charming. The battle system's great. It's basically like, I could be wrong because it's been a little while since I played 6, but I'm pretty sure it's ability system where you equip equipment and you grind out abilities on it. It's similar to 6's system, I think, where you equip Magicite and then grind out abilities through that. I think they're pretty similar. Been a while since I played 6. Yeah, I love the battle system and the leveling system. The music, holy fuck. Like, if we were doing a soundtrack tier list, 9's top. 9 has the best soundtrack in the whole series. Like, you put that on, there's very few songs that I'm like, skip. Like, the whole soundtrack is amazing. Trying to think of things I don't like about 9. Got a pretty slow start. A lot of FF games do, and I guess on a first time through it's not so bad, but replaying them, like, 9 has a pretty slow start. I wouldn't say I get super interested until, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe, like, I don't want to say too far in, because that makes it sound like the game's bad, but, like, yeah, I don't know, like, maybe, I maybe don't get too interested until I get sort of around Ice Cavern, which is probably, without, like, the times 3 speed for, like, remasters, that's probably a fair few hours in, so... But yeah, it's like, I wouldn't, if you play it for the first time though, like, hardly like a detraction from the game, because it's, you know, you're going to be enjoying all the story and the characters on your first time. For me, obviously, having played it before, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, I've seen this before. So, like, I'm just kind of like, can I get to the part of the game that I enjoy more? But it's still good. Other things I don't like about 9, don't like the fake out. I mean, spoilers, but if you clicked on this video, then what did you expect? I don't like the fake out final boss. Like, they do it in 3 and 4 as well, and I let it go in those ones because a little bit more anyway, because they're like class. I was about to say they're 30 years old, but then realized that 9 is like 23 years old, and fuck, where's the time going? But they just feel older than 9. Like, 9 still feels like more modern than 3 or 4, even though it's 20 plus years old. So, like, I can let that shit go just because, like, gaming in the early 90s, late 80s, yeah, having a final boss go, oh, boo, it's me, I'm the final boss, really, like, not this guy, I can just excuse. But by 9, I know they were trying to do, like, a callback to classic Final Fantasy, or what was considered classic at the time, but, like, I don't know, they built up, like, the story was a lot grander in 9, it was a lot longer in 9, to build up one guy as the villain, and then at the last minute go, not really, it's like, come on, man, I just spent, like, 30, 40 hours playing this game, like, wanting to, like, you know, take down this villain, and you do take him down, but then it's like, but he's not really even the villain. Like he's just not some guy, but like he's just like a guy. You know, he's one villain. This is the villain. I don't like that about 9, but I wouldn't say it ruins the game or anything. Yeah, 9 is still fantastic. Next I'm gonna put, and for me it's always difficult between what will be my third and second ranking. I can never quite decide on a game, but I'm gonna go with 10. 10's absolutely amazing. 10 has my favorite world from any fantasy game. Like I love Spira. It's such a fun world, and I really like the religious aspect to it. I think that's really cool. Like where like they kind of have this, not that they know any better, but it's like blind faith in like a religion that's like a lie, but they don't know that. I think that's like a super interesting like story. What else was I forgot everything I had to say about 10. I really like the fashion of Spira. Spira has the weirdest fashion, but it's such a unique looking game because of it. 10 doesn't have a leveling system, which usually when I play JRPGs, I'm a basic bitch. I love a good leveling system. Yeah, I don't mind a little job system from time to time, but yeah, I like a good level 1, level 2, level 3, keep it simple. 10 doesn't have that, but I do fucking love the sphere grid. Even though when I first ever played it, I remember thinking it was confusing and I didn't like it. It's not confusing at all. I don't know. I was just an idiot kid, I guess. Although as a kid in Europe, we did have the expert sphere grid from the get-go. Like a lot of people were excited about that for the remaster, like a lot of North Americans, but not to boast, but we always had that in the European one, so I was just kind of like, cool, I guess. But we also had like the Dark Aeons in the European version originally. Yeah, the expert sphere grid, maybe that's why it confused me. I mean, it's not that much different to the standard sphere grid, but there is a little more going on. But I love the sphere grid. I love 10's battle system. Holy fuck, the battle system is so good. It's still maybe my favorite battle system in a JRPG ever. Like it's simple, but it's just effective. Like it works so well. Yeah, I can't think of many battle systems that come close. Maybe like Trails of Cold Steel. That's got a really good battle system. That almost feels a bit like 10's to mine, just with some extra little bits that, even though it has extra bits, it kind of maybe it's a little too much, but it's so close to 10's. Why am I talking about fucking Trails of Cold Steel? That doesn't matter. But yeah, 10 is just great from start to finish. The story's great, the character's great. Every other point that I've said about every other game, it's all great. So we're putting 10 up there. Linearity, yeah, it's a little linear, but I think it works fine. They were trying to tell a story. It's not too linear. It has towns, it has little side paths, it has some optional caves you can go in. Not too linear. Next, and I know I've left 4 quite a while, which some people might be like, you're ranking 4 this high? Yeah, I'm gonna put 4 there. 4, and yeah, I mean, I might as well rank it now and put, yeah, what basic bitch, 7 at the top. But I'll talk about 4 first. 4 for the longest time, and I mean real recent, like until like last few weeks when I had a good think about this, 4 was my favorite game of all time. It was only recently that I sat there and thought, there's a couple of things about 4 that I don't like. Not enough for me to like drop it drastically is what I mean. But there's definitely some things about 4 that I don't like. I don't like the fact that because they hadn't worked out, I'm guessing this is the reason, this is just pure speculation, but I'm guessing the reason that they hadn't worked out quite how to do a good party system yet, like 6 introduced. For some reason, your party members either just at random times be like, I gotta go, and just leave. And then that allows the developers to say, okay, well, here's a new party member instead. Or they'll just die. And then sometimes just turn back up later. Like, oh, never mind, I'm alive, really. But that, I think they were doing that because, yeah, they wanted to give you a different party member, but they hadn't worked out how to do this, like, you know, switching out party members, like they do in 6 and beyond that in the series. So, yeah, so 4 has this weird system of people just constantly dying or leaving your team. I don't like that. That doesn't really, you know, it doesn't really, like, it might sound weird to rank it lower because of that, but 4 to me, it was, you know, it's my favorite game of all time. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, that's such a big part of the game, though. Like, I don't know if I want it to be my favorite. Well, not want it, but I don't know if it can be my favorite game if it does, if it has this thing that kind of bothers me about it like that. Not that any game is perfect, but yeah, I don't like that. 4 has a great battle system because it introduces the ATB, which is very good. I mean, I like turn-based. As people always refer to classic FF as turn-based. 4 to 9 aren't turn-based. They're not turn. I know it's simple to say turn-based, but they're not turn-based. You don't take turns. But yeah, 4 has the ATB system, which is incredibly influential because they used that until like FF9. And I mean, they build upon that for, you know, other FF games too. Maybe give it a different approach, but it's still based on ATB. What was I saying about 4? It has a good story. I mean, all right, play it in 2023. You're not going to have your mind blown, but it has a good story. I'll tell you what, it has a good story compared to FF1 to 3, especially because those stories are good. Well, 1 is whatever, barely has a story, but 2 and 3 are good. But they kind of feel like, especially 3, they kind of feel like, oh, there's a problem at this town. Okay, go to the town and do a thing. All right, we did the thing. Now continue. Oh, there's a problem at this town. Do the thing. We did the thing. There's a problem at this town. Like, that's the whole... It's just like a series of events until finally, oh, hey, I'm the boss. Fight me. Okay, game's ended. Like, I don't think 4 felt like that. 4 actually had a coherent story throughout the game. Like, sure, there was times when you get somewhere and they go, oh, problem in the town. Help us out. But, like, you know... It had an actual story throughout the game that it didn't let you forget about. Like FF3, you could forget that there was even like a threat in that game because, you know, the story's fairly bare bones. 4 has a fairly generic battle system, I'd say. I wouldn't say like 1, 2, and 3 each did their own thing. 4 just kind of did what. Actually, no, yeah, I was going to say 4 did what 1 did, but not even really, because, I mean, sure, battle system-wise, it's closest to 1, but it didn't have a job system, which 1 has a very, very basic job system, I suppose. Yeah, 4... sorry. 4 gave you set jobs, obviously. You know, you had a Dark Knight, and eventually a Paladin, a White Mage, a Black Mage. It didn't let you choose. But the battle system is... Lost my train of thought now. The battle system's good, is my point. It gives you set jobs, and I would say it's most similar to 1. And I don't know if I was praising, if I'm praising, I think. I've lost my train of thought. It's good. The battle system's good. That is my point. It's got good music. Golbez is a top tier villain. I won't hear any hate on Golbez. I mean, I don't think anyone is. But just to squash that right now. I don't have too much more to say on 4, if I'm being honest. Even though I love it, I think the reason I love it, and if maybe I should say about that, why do I love 4? I mean, I know I just went into a bunch of reasons, but like, you know, when there's so many good FF games, why 4? I just played it a lot as a kid. I think when I got FF games, I had like 7 first, then 8. And then I think maybe 9 was out. I just didn't have 9. So I think maybe I got... Because in the UK, it's done slightly differently. I'm trying to remember what it is here. I think it's Final Fantasy Chronicles here had FF... Fuck, what did it have in it? Oh my god. Give me 1 second while I Google things. How was FF4 released here? Because it wasn't released for the SNES. We didn't get a Final Fantasy game until Final Fantasy 7. No, it wasn't called Chronicles. Fuck, what was it? What's it called? Chronicles is the one with Chrono Trigger. That didn't come out here because Europe also didn't get Chrono Trigger 2 years later. I'm really trying to think what the hell it was called. Oh no, it's killing me. FF4 PS1 Europe. What was 4 released with? Why can I not remember? Anthology. What was that released with? What is that? Oh, it was 4 and 5. Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. I played FF4. It came with FF5 on PS1. I believe uh, America got Anthology 2, but it was 5 and 6. Um, yeah, that's how I played 4. Um, and I played a bunch of it, and it was just like 7 and 8 were the first one I played, and they're kind of like, you know, I don't know if steampunk's the right word, but they're kind of steampunk, let's say, and futuristic in ways. Whereas 4, I didn't know Final Fantasy before 7. So to me, Final Fantasy was 7, was 8. When I played 4, I was like, this is so different, and I just loved it. Um, uh, what was I saying? Yeah, and I think just it was always one that fantasy games have slow starts sometimes. Like I find it difficult to start 7, even though I've ranked it right at the top there. I find it difficult to start 10, 9. 4, for some reason, I feel like it just gets straight into it. Like I can just jump into 4 and immediately start playing and enjoying it. So yeah, I just have a real soft spot for 4. Um, and I don't know what I can say about Fantasy 7 really, because it's like I mean, it's I don't want to say most people's, but that's a lot of people's favorite Final Fantasy. A lot of people say the first Final Fantasy you play will be your favorite, and until recently, 4 was my favorite, so that wasn't true. But now that I've kind of decided I kind of do like 7 more, I guess that's true because it was my first Final Fantasy. Which I mean, shit on me if you want. Like, oh, you start with 7, oh, basic. 7 was the first fantasy here in Europe, if you exclude the classic Mystic Quest, because for some reason that came out here. But yeah, 7. I mean, again, I don't know what to say really. It has amazing characters, amazing story, amazing soundtrack. The what was I going to say? The replayability is crazy in that game because of the materia system, like where you can just do whatever you want with it. I've finished multiple like challenges in that game. Like I've got a thing written of the challenges I've done for that game. Let me try and find that. There it is. Yeah, I've finished like a. I started off with attack and limit breaks and items only, but that's super easy. I mean, that's basically how anyone plays the game anyway. Just use attacks and items. Occasionally throw some magic, but late game, who's even using defensive magic? Come on, attacks do do max damage anyway. Then I did. I can't bother to go through because there's so like I've done like some of the hardest challenges you can set yourself for that game, like using none of this and none of that and only using this. And I did like a solo character one as well, where I couldn't use materia or accessories or escape and initial equipment. And it's just so much fun how replayable that game is because of shit like that. Like it's so easy to do challenge. Honestly, if I play it now, I have to do a challenge. I can't just play it normally. In fact, I don't know what challenge to do next. I'm looking for a good challenge for that game. If anyone watches this, thinks of one, tell me. But yeah, 7 has got to be like top. I think for me, it was my first fantasy, and it's probably my favorite Final Fantasy. But yeah, that's my rankings. Lowest is 8. Come at me. I think it's shit. If I'm being honest. I will. Oh, and I should have said which of these I finished, which I haven't finished. I finished all of the main series. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll go through. Finished. Finished. Didn't finish After Years. Got real near the end, and I was like, this game's shit. Didn't finish 8. Got near the end as a kid. Barely got into Disc 2 as an adult. Don't like it. And then, yeah, haven't played enough. Obviously, I haven't finished. But yeah, 8's bottom, 7's top. That's my rankings. I didn't have a lot of time today, and I'm probably gonna have to head out soon. So I'm gonna leave it there. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you later.